Sponsored by Squarespace. This movie is 16 years old.
What?
When I first went to high school in Canada, I, like every immigrant kid in our class, had to learn French. To make the process more fun, our teacher would play French-dubbed movies for us. And her top choice was Rush Hour. Watching Rush Hour in a class full of immigrants was a special kind of fun.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Seeing the two cops settle the differences made us curious about each other's culture as well. The film briefly made me a popular kid in class, purely because I'm Chinese, like Jackie.
You invited them to get naked and sacrifice a small goat.
Ah, fond memories. That's why when Rush Hour 3 came out, I couldn't wait to watch it.
Rush Hour 3.
I rented a copy from a video store, shoved it into my CD-ROM, and within the first 20 minutes, I realized it kinda sucks. And I was not alone. Rush Hour 3 was a disappointment to a lot of people. What went wrong? I asked myself the question and kept on watching.
Welcome to Paris.
Oh,
And then, somehow, the film slowly won me over. I started enjoying it, and I'm pretty sure I was not alone in this as well. What's going on? Well, let me explain. Let's start with the negative. Number 1, the subpart action. The first two Rush Hour films have some of the best action scenes in Hollywood. At the time, Jackie Chan still had ambition of becoming a Hollywood star, so he and his team were hands-on with the film. He didn't just design the stunts, he also directed the camera. See how Jackie and the moving container are in the same shot? Here, Jackie backflips, but the camera focuses on the gun rather than Jackie. A few shots later, we get a payoff. While Rush Hour 3 still has impressive stunts, it seems Jackie wasn't as hands-on. See, this shot never shows the ground. We don't know how high up he is, it lacks a sense of danger. And this shot is even worse. In an actual Jackie Chan movie, we'll see him sliding all the way down to the ground. With less than impressive camera work, the editor worked overtime to compensate, further dampening the excitement. After a series of stinkers by 2007, Jackie's career was winding down, which might be why he wasn't as diligent. It may also explain why the film focuses more on Carter. The main theme of Rush Hour 3 is brotherhood.
I am half Chinese, baby.
Lee struggles with the discovery that his adopted brother is a criminal.
He ain't your brother, and you are not my brother. Fine. I'm not your brother.
From there, Carter is the only one to go through a character arc, learning to not abandon his best friend.
He has me, his brother from another mother.
He comes up with most of the plans, he provides most of the laughs. Heck, in this scene, he is the main action hero. Jackie is the support. It's a subtle difference, but it feels off. Not because I don't like Chris Tucker, he shines as the frontman. My problem is with Jackie.
Sorry,
Okay?
I don't know him.
He just isn't very interesting or fun as the sidekick. Okay, so this is a Chris Tucker comedy, which is fine and all, but what's up with the color? Around this time, the practice of digital intermediate became standard practice. Basically, you shot the movie on film, scan it onto a computer, mess up the color, and then shot it back on the film for exhibition. Look at Jackie's tie, it's all bleached out. This high contrast, low saturation orange and teal look not only is a bad match for a high-key comedy, it also lacks any of the warmth of the original films. Added with the handheld camera, the movie can look downright dreary. Man, 16 years ago, To put it into perspective, when this movie came out, the internet looked like this. Yeah, every website looked like it's made of programmer art. Good thing you don't need to be a programmer or an artist to make a good website today. All you need is Squarespace. Need your website to look good? Choose one of the many professional looking templates and edit accordingly. The process is simple and intuitive, no plugin, no programming required. Squarespace also has a myriad of resources to help you. If you have a question, just contact their 24/7 customer support. Start a free trial at squarespace.com/accencinema. Use the code accencinema to get 10% off your first purchase. You can make your website in your free trial too. No credit card required. If you need a website, give Squarespace a try. With Chris Tucker as the frontman, Rush Hour 3 has more gags than fights. That's a real problem when the gags often take over the movie. See this bit from Rush Hour.
The amount will be $50 million.
$50 million? And who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton?
It's a funny line improvised by Chris Tucker, but also something Carter would say. It also tells us how high the stake is. It is a joke that builds the character and builds the story. In contrast, here's how a gag plays out in Rush Hour 3.
You!
Yes?
Not you, him! What's your name?
Me.
Yes, you!
I am me. He's me. And I'm you.
Jokes in Rush Hour 3 are self-contained skits, leaning onto Chris Tucker's stand-up career.
Sister, you tell this piece of S word that I would personally F-word him up.
Most of the jokes don't push the story forward. That's why these scenes are so popular on YouTube. You don't need context to enjoy them. The problem is further exacerbated by the dead locations. The colorful scenery is one of the many subtle factors that made Rush Hour so lively. All of the locations in previous films facilitated towards a strong cultural clash.
Hi.
How you doing? Y'all got any EO?
Sure.
Carter enters this Hong Kong nightclub, notices someone singing badly. He goes on stage and starts performing.
Just love me.
You put funny people in unfamiliar places, and the jokes write themselves. The Kung Fu School in Rush Hour 3, however, feels like a movie set for a sitcom. Lee and Carter come in,
Alright, listen up!
and they immediately interrupt everyone. The film never takes the time to observe and display the location. Finally, Carter is also such a creep in this movie. It's uncomfortable to watch.
That depends. You girls like Chinese?
He's actually very likable in the first movie. A street smart cop, flirty but not dirty. In each successive film, he becomes more and more of a sleazeball.
And I'd like to strip you down and butter you like a slice of Wonder Bread.
And it's like, knowing the director, it makes an uncomfortable watch. So, why do I still like the movie? Simply put, just because it's not as good doesn't mean it's bad.
If you half Chinese, I'm half black. I'm your brother and I'm fly. You down with that, Snoopy? That's dope, isn't it?
This line is funny, not because it's surprising coming from Lee, but because Jackie struggles so much trying to say it.
You down with that, Snoopy? That's dope, isn't it?
That's the fun of Rush Hour 3. The characters may not be all that great,
Nice working with you, sister.
Anytime, brother.
but the actors were having a blast.
Maybe we should put on a dirty movie.
Lee!
Only $9.95.
They are party jokes. You know, the type of jokes people tell at parties.
I like the one with the horses. What's that mean?
Chances are you have heard it before, and they aren't that funny. But you still enjoy the joke because it's not about the text. It's about who's telling the joke and how they are telling it. It's the charisma of the performance. Additionally, there are also good moments. For example, after 2 movies, the 2 characters have taken on traits from each other. Lee picked up some AAVE,
That's dope, isn't it?
while Carter picked up some Chinese.
Introduce him to your Shangdi.
Sean D. Your brother.
He also knows a bit of Kung Fu too. Sure, he always knows how to fight, but in here, he fights like Lee. In a movie about brotherhood, it's nice to see how close these two can be. The best moment comes from this montage.
Fine. I'm not your brother.
The film then cuts into an intentionally cheesy montage of the two being melancholic while watching racial stereotypes on TV.
Crash landing!
Short round. Yes, I would like to order some fried chicken, please.
And then you see Carter ordering Chinese. It is the most hilariously stupid thing ever, yet it has so much heart. In a way, Rush Hour 3 feels like an extended rock party. Just actors having fun, performing a few bits. It may not have great action or humor, but just being able to see how far the actors and the characters have come, that is enough to put a smile on my face. I think this movie can be best summarized by this joke. Carter arrives at a vaudeville theater. He sneaks into the backstage, pretending to be a costume designer, while creeping on a group of naked performers.
I'm Bubbles, the new costume designer.
It feels forced, the joke is not funny, it's uncomfortable to watch, 0 out of 10. Naturally, I dreaded to see what this script would do. What absolute train wreck of a costume will he come up with? Then the movie cuts and the costume looks amazing. This is what Rush Hour 3 is, a deeply uneven movie. It can be both extremely bad and surprisingly good. The joke gets even better, by the way.
Over and over again.
As I watch the two stars walking away at the end, I feel satisfied. I think if this movie were to shown in class, we'll love it just as much. Is it a good movie? Not really, but it can still be a good time.